What's up, guys? This is an unfamiliar sight for most of you at my shop, but we do work on RVs. This one right here is a 2010 with a 8.3 Cummins ISC in it. Customer came in complaining that he's losing coolant and can't figure out where it's going. So first thing I spoke with the customer about, I said, well, in this situation, there's not many things. You got an EGR cooler. Not super common, but it can be. But normally you'd see smoke out the tailpipe. Sometimes with emissions you won't. So we dug into it, and first thing we found, another thing kind of made me think he may have a deeper issue is he told me he was having to keep changing his crankcase filter because it was throwing a message for it, severely clogged. And then I started thinking, I'm like, I bet you got coolant in the oil. And he's like, well, what would cause that? I said, well, 9 times out of 10 on these RVs, they sit up a lot and they don't get serviced properly. So if you own an RV, you really need to be servicing it properly, especially when it comes to your coolant system, and I'm fixing to show you why. So what we ended up finding with this one was we dropped the oil pan, pressure test coolant system, and we found every liner was leaking coolant. And if you walk over here, I'm going to show you why. So you see all this pitting right here? This is caused by what they call electrolysis. It's whenever coolant breaks down and then it turns into, like, it gets electrified and it starts eating metal up. So not only did we have the liners that were tore up, we also, if you look here, it's kind of hard to get in there, all the liner seats, counterbore, whatever you want to call it, was ate up. All that was ate up. So what we did is we used this stuff right here called Belzona. It's an approved product for cast iron blocks to fill in the gaps where it was eaten up. And we had a guy named Blake Woodward from Mississippi come out here. He does all our counter boring and machine work. He came out here and machined the Belzona after it cured and dried. So I'll show you what it looked like before. So that's what most of them look like before, ate up like that. And then once you put the Belzona in there and clean it up really good and then machine it and get it ready, looks like brand new. So it's approved by a lot of the big manufacturers. One of them is, including Caterpillar, approves Belzona for repairs on cast blocks. So long story short, this is a very expensive job for one thing: not servicing the coolant system. So if you have RVs that sit up, I don't care if the coolant looks good. Get it pH tested or just change it. If I owned a big RV like this that set up, I would be changing my coolant every couple years. I know they say it's good for 100,000 miles or 1,000,000 miles, whatever it is, but this is way more expensive than just changing the coolant. So I would strongly suggest just servicing your RV instead of having to deal with this, because if this one had been serviced properly, this never would have happened. And how all this started is he blew an oil cooler. But he blew the oil cooler because coolant cools the oil cooler, and it had electrolysis, so it probably ate the oil cooler up first. Then they flushed all the coolant system out, and I really thought maybe the coolant, the oil being in the coolant, petroleum, ate up the O-rings, but when we got it apart, that's not what we found. So it's much cheaper, guys, just to do your maintenance. So good luck.